the most important thing is you cannot give up. Just keep going. You'll get there.
Yeah,
It's
you
gonna
get
suck.
there.
It's gonna suck a lot, but once you make it, it's a good feeling. You
Yeah.
feel very accomplished for sure.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Product Manager channel, where we talk about product, tech, and how to build awesome software. Today is a special episode because we have our very first guest speaker in this channel with Oleg Rudenko, who is going to talk to us about his journey to get his first job as a software engineer. Some of the topic that we discuss is, should you go to school to get computer science degree, or maybe fast track your way to the first job with a boot camp? And if you choose to go to a boot camp, which one should you go to and how to pick the right one for you? Some other very interesting topic we discuss is how to manage the lows when you applying for job but don't get any traction. How you stay motivated and healthy so you can continue to study and prepare for that interview that's gonna come. So if you're looking to get a job as a software engineer, you're gonna find a lot of great insight in this interview. So please hit the like and take a listen. So tell us, how did you end up here? Like, how did you get your first job? Like, what was your journey? Like, you started about a year ago, uh, trying to get your job. So what was your journey like?
For sure. Oh, hello, strangers on the internet. My name is Oleg Rudenko. I'm gonna tell you a little background history about myself and how I landed my first job as a software engineer. So I went to a community college, getting my associate's degree in software development at Essex County Community College. They basically gave you the basic fundamentals to software, such as like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But I still wasn't really so sure what I wanted to pursue. So after graduating that community college, I was doing promotional events at the time, and I met a coworker who was doing a promotional event with me. And he was also a software engineer, and he told me that, hey, we're hiring interns at our company. You should join, and I could get you an internship. That's basically what he said. Well, not internship, but an interview for the internship. And I was very excited because, again, I wasn't so sure what I wanted to pursue at the time. So I told him, hey, heck yeah, let's do it, man. And basically, I passed the interview, and they hired me as part of their quality assurance team. I had a 6-month contract with them. And during my time there, I met some people who worked as front-end developers.
Mm-hmm.
And they were showing me what they were working on a day-to-day basis, what tech stack they were using. And I was really interested in working as a front-end developer. I was like, hey, I really want to make websites. I feel as though this is what I'm passionate about. I finally found what I want to pursue going forward. And I finished my quality assurance job at that company. I asked them if they can transfer me over to their web developer team. Unfortunately, they told me that they didn't have any positions available at the time.
Okay.
And to be honest, I didn't really have the skill set at the time again.
Yeah.
So I was thinking what I should do next. Should I go back to
So
college?
when was that? How long ago was that?
Man, it feels like it's been forever. I'd say about 2017.
Okay,
roughly.
so about 2 years.
Give or take.
And that was
Yeah.
kind of like your first job or first internship as in tech, right?
Yeah, exactly. That was my very first job. I'm very happy for that experience because it showed me what I didn't want to do and what I actually wanted to pursue. So it gave me an idea of, hey, this is the path you should go forward if you want to find a job that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, initially after that internship ended, I tried looking for a job. Spent a couple months just applying. Couldn't find anything. And then I thought about why no one is getting back to me. Of course, it was because of the lack of experience, number one. And number two, I didn't have the technical skills at the time. So I was thinking, should I go to school?
Right.
Should I go to a boot camp? There's a bunch of positives and negatives to going to college or going to a boot camp, but I really wanted to work. So I decided to take a little shortcut. I went to the boot camp. It was 3 months. It's called Hack Reactor. It was a very good boot camp. They taught me everything I know. It was definitely one of the most intense parts of my life, because during that boot camp, those 3 months, you'd spend about 14 hours a day just eating, breathing, sleeping code.
Yeah.
And you're surrounded by other individuals who motivate you to keep going, because it's very hard mentally and physically, but I enjoyed learning. So I didn't give up. I just kept going after it. I knew this is what I had to do, and I had a great time doing it. They
So
taught their
how
students
long
the full
after
stack spectrum.
so just to go back a little bit. So you did your internship, you're trying to apply, and then you just like, what did you try to do to go to a boot camp? Just to get
Well,
experience?
yeah, just to build up that technical background, such as learning front-end frameworks, understanding how server works, how the back end works, how everything is connected together. Once you have those skills, I feel as though you look more appealing to employers, opposed to just telling them, hey, I just know some HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and that's it. There's so much more you have to learn just to get a job.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so how did you apply to the bootcamp? Like, how did you pick the bootcamp? Like, I know there's so many out there right now. So,
Exactly.
Like, how did you select the one you went?
Yeah. Well, again, that's a very interesting topic to talk about, because everyone has a different lifestyle. Some people might have a family. Some people might have relatives that they have to take care of. Some people have full-time jobs. So picking a boot camp is a little difficult. You could go full-time. There are different durations between 3 to 4 months, or you could do it part-time. You work in the day, and then when you come home, you're working on code. So it depends on your lifestyle. On top of that, every boot camp has a different price. Some boot camps might be $8,000. Some might be $18,000.
Right.
But there are some boot camps that are free until you find a job. Once you find a job, then you have to pay that boot camp, which in my opinion is the best way to go about it, because it incentivizes that boot camp to find you a job or to help you as much as they can.
I see. Yeah.
And again, every boot camp also teaches a different tech stack. So it depends what you're looking for.
Okay.
So again, you have to definitely do your research and see which one best fits you. Of course, there are going to be some bad boot camps that you want to avoid. So do your research, and I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out from there.
Mm-hmm. Is there any resource online or like that help you to do those research? Like if somebody is interested to do a boot camp today and they just don't know where to start, like what would you recommend for them?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of great resources, YouTube videos. You could watch people who've gone through different boot camps and listen to what their experiences are like. Reddit is always very awesome in my opinion, because people always post questions there. Hey, what do you think about this boot camp? And people give you their honest opinion if they had a good time or not. And again, boot camps are very tricky because, to be honest, not everyone is going to find a job after they graduate boot camp. It's mostly how much you believe in yourself, and you shouldn't let it beat you down, because of course you might be very lucky and you might find a job a week after you graduate. For me personally, it took me about 5 months to find my first job. And during those 5 months, you slowly deteriorate month after month. You're thinking to yourself, am I not good enough? What's the problem with me? Should I do a different approach to it? Again, I would just keep interviewing, and I would keep trying to get an offer letter. Again, it's just a numbers game. Sometimes you get lucky, but you just have to keep trying. You don't have to, just don't give up. It gets very tough if no one's replying to you after a couple months. You start losing your sanity a little bit, but it happens.
How do you manage that though? That's a really good question I was going to ask. How do you handle that downtime where you may be just applying, but you don't have to go to work? Are you working on side project? Like, how do you keep your skills up? How do you keep your energy and your morale, up in those tough time?
Yeah, exactly. Well, initially I was just working before I landed my first job, I was working on projects. I was watching the tutorials all the time, reading articles. You just have to keep yourself busy. Don't stay cooped up in your room 24/7. Go outside, enjoy the fresh air,
Yeah.
because you could just be a hermit and you'll be stuck indoors until you find a job, and then you finally leave your room. You're like, yes, I could come out. But no, don't do that.
Probably doesn't
Make
help.
sure no, it
Probably
doesn't
doesn't
help at
help
all.
with the interview process too. If you don't talk to anybody and like you're so
Exactly.
dark, right? And then we have to interview, and it's good to keep that energy going and have that social aspect also.
Yeah, you have to watch your health as well. You have to eat right, make sure. You might decide to start working out, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
But yeah, just know that you have to keep applying, but also you have a life outside of that, and just
Right.
take care of yourself.
Yeah,
Or else
it's
you'll just
really
go
good.
insane.
The worst thing, you don't want to go into like some sort of depression or anything, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's very easy to
Yeah.
happen. It can happen to anyone real quick.
Yeah, so maybe so you say like, stay healthy, exercise, go outside, keep meeting people, see friends, work on your project, of course. No, that's very good. And
Yeah.
things is gonna be, hopefully it's gonna be short term, right? It might be like a few months, but you will find a job. Like in your case, twice you were without a job after the boot camp and after that first startup. And each time, after a couple of months, you were able to bounce back. So, I guess that's, there's always light at the end of the tunnel, right?
Yeah, exactly. The most important thing is you cannot give up. Just keep going. You'll get there.
Yeah.
It's gonna suck.
There.
It's gonna suck a lot, but once you make it, it's a good feeling.
Yeah.
You feel very accomplished, for sure. And the first time you're interviewing, you're not going to do so well, but you learn during that first interview. The second one, you do a little better, and then before you know it, you'll get really good at it.
You're getting really good at interviewing.
Yeah.
So your strategy was just to apply like as much as possible, or did you try like different approach to to get a job, or like maybe networking or anything else you can recommend?
Yeah, well, what I can recommend is you should have the foundation before you start applying, such as you should have your personal website done. Well, this is if you want to work as a front-end web developer or a full-stack web developer. It's very important to have your personal website done. It's important to have at least 2 to 3 personal projects that you've worked on and you can talk about in great detail, because the employer will be interested in that, especially if you don't have any real work experience. Since that's the only experience you have to have projects.
Right.
Such as also setting up your social media, such as LinkedIn, having a good resume. Cover letter, in my opinion at least, it's optional. If you want to, you can write a generic one. But if you find a company that you really want to work at, you should write a cover letter specifically for that position,
right,
showing them that you're interested. So that's the basic foundation. After that, what I did at least was I applied in the area I lived at the time, and nothing seemed to work because at the time I lived in LA, and it's a very what's the word?
Competitive.
Very competitive.
Yeah.
Very competitive scene. So I knew I had the technical skills. After a couple months, that didn't work out for me. I didn't even get a single phone call, nothing. I just started applying out of state because I didn't have anything holding me back. I was okay with living somewhere else. I was okay with making that sacrifice.
Right.
So I was applying out of state, and that was a lot easier in my opinion, because I was getting a lot more phone calls, a lot more interviews in. And then that's how I found my first job. I was living in LA. I was applying all over the country. I got an interview with this company in Salt Lake City in Utah. And I just went through the interview process. It took a while, about a month or so. And that's how I landed my first job with them.
Got it. So that was your first job after the boot camp, right? So yeah, it's very hard to. It seems like computer science and developer and engineer in very high demand, but at the same time, it's very hard for junior developer to get their first job, right? Like I feel like you get very popular when you have 2-3 years of experience, but until then it's kind of like, you know, it's a hustle because there's so many junior developers that are trying to break through. So yeah, this is really insightful. Okay, so then you were you had a first job in Salt Lake City, and then what happened then?
Sure. Well, I landed my first job in Salt Lake City as a front-end developer, and I was very excited. It was an amazing opportunity. It was a startup company. So, it was my first job. I didn't know what to expect. The unknown was just, but I knew that the technology that they were working with, I knew that technology. So that made me feel a lot more comfortable. Yeah, there were a lot of very senior developers. I was definitely I was the only junior developer there, more or less. So I was acting like a sponge, learning as much as I can from my coworkers, asking the right questions. I feel as though as a junior developer, you should be all right with asking for help when you get stuck. So if you're given a ticket, or whatever the case may be, you're given something to work on and you're stuck on that, you can't come up with a solution within a couple hours, it's all right to ask for help because someone will point you in the right direction. Even when you do have a solution to a ticket, it's always important to run it by someone who's more senior than you, especially starting off as a junior, because you want to do a good job.
Right.
So you want to see if your solution fits this problem, or maybe they can come up with a better solution for you.
Got it.
And you go with that. Yeah. Every day you're learning, you're doing a lot of research because you still don't know a lot. You might think you know a lot, but you don't. So you have to do your research and you have to keep going.
Yeah.
They might be using technology that you're not familiar with, and that's all right. Again, there's a lot of great resources online, such as YouTube tutorials, articles, Stack Overflow that you can refer to. So yeah, unfortunately though, I only worked at that company for about 4 to 5 months. Because after we created a product for that startup company, they fired about 80% of the people who worked on that project. So it happens. It's a startup. It can be very cutthroat sometimes. Yeah, it sounds like something out of a movie or a TV show. It happens, but you have to be all right with that. You shouldn't be discouraged. At least I got something on my resume that showed that I had job experience as a front-end developer.
Some great experience too, also with some more senior people, right? I think one thing that you're saying is interesting is regardless of if you think you know the answer or if you're stuck, it seems like you're saying it's important to get feedback early on, just to make sure you're on the right track and move faster even in your execution. So yeah, that's really cool. Alright guys, thank you for listening. I hope you got a lot of great value from this interview. If you did, make sure you hit the like and share with us in a comment what was the most powerful advice that you heard. And if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for, guys? Please subscribe to the channel so you can get to hear the part 2 of this interview, where Oleg is going to talk about how he best prepare for interviews, as well as how he was able to get 2 job offers and negotiate to get a best deal for his next gig. So that sounds good to you? Subscribe to the channel and we'll see you very soon for that second video. Thank you.